Hello, everyone. Welcome to Melbourne Digital Consulting. My name is Elfrida. I'm a business owner and a business mentor. And tonight, I'm just bringing you a chit chat on starting a business and the things you need to consider. I know the new year is just around the corner. Most people have their new year resolutions already. For some of you, it might just be starting a business or starting something new. So I'm bringing you this conversation, this chat, so that if you are on that journey, you will consider some of these things, because sometimes we just jump on things without considering the things we need to consider, and then we start having problems later down the line. I don't want that to be you. So let's have this chat tonight. So just in case you want to start this journey, I think the first thing to consider is why you even want to start this journey of starting a business. Sometimes the aim is just to make extra income, more money than you're already making. So ask yourself, is starting a business is the right path for me? Or is it better for me to find a better job? Maybe upscale my skills and my, knowledge base, so I can look for a better job, a job that pays better than what I'm earning. For some people, that might just be the solution. It's not starting a business, because starting a business comes with a lot of responsibilities that you might not be cut for. So maybe for you, it might be to look for a better job. And for some people, it might actually be like looking for additional jobs. Like if you are doing something and you haven't got skills, or to upskill, or you haven't got what it takes to upskill yourself, maybe your path will be to look for something else in addition to what you are doing, because what you want at the end of the day is more money than you are making right now. So you need to consider that if starting a business is what you want, or if there are other ways you can achieve your goal of making more money. Right. Once you have decided it is business that you want to start, you need to consider what kind of business. There are so many businesses out there, so many business models. You need to know what you are looking for. Are you looking for a service-based business, a product-based business? If it's a product-based business, what kind of products are you going? You need to consider all that. And if it's a service-based business, what kind of services are you going to offer? You need to consider all that. You need to consider if you want a physical business or a digital business, because that is something you need to know before you even set out. If it is a digital business, what kind of digital business? There are so many business models out there. You can't just hop online and hope to start a business. You need to know what you want. So those are some of the things you need to consider. Once you have decided on the kind of business you want, you need to consider a few other things before you start. Because if you do not consider these things, sometimes you start and then you get stuck on the way. You get stuck in the middle somewhere because you haven't considered the important things. One of the most important things to consider when you are thinking of starting a business is how much money you have to start that business, to invest in that business. Because if you are starting any serious business, it's not going to be free. There will be cost elements, there will be cost implications of starting a business. So how much money do you have to start a business? That was one of the things I considered when I was starting my business. At the time I started my business, I didn't have enough money. I didn't have a lot of money, but I knew I wanted a business. What I wanted at that time was not another job or a better job. I wanted a business for my own reasons. Maybe another time I'll share the reasons, but I knew I wanted a business. But I didn't have the time. I didn't have the money. I didn't have a lot of money. At that point, I had already invested in some other ventures that had not worked. Maybe if I have time, I might share a bit into that. But I knew my capital base wasn't a lot. So I wanted something that can accommodate what I had. And that was what that was the first thing I considered. Like when I saw this business and I saw the opportunity and everything, the next question I had to ask myself, how much is it going to cost, or how much is it going to require for me to start it? And that was one of the things I had to consider. So if you're considering starting a business, first of all, know that you will need some amount of money to start any kind of business, any kind of serious business. Don't go falling prey to some of these shiny objects online that are promising you free startup. Every serious business would demand that you invest into something, and then you start running your business. So your first consideration should be the capital base, how much the business you want to start requires for you to start, or how much you have. Maybe you don't have it, but you have access to it. Maybe you don't have the physical cash, but you know you have credit and you have lines of credit, or you have access to bank loans, or you need to make an evaluation of how much you can afford to start a business. So that is the first consideration, and that will determine the kind of business you will be able to start. Okay, once you have considered your investment, there are other things as well. Personally, I wanted a business with a global reach. I didn't want a business in a physical location, like a small business somewhere, because anything can happen. I can decide tomorrow I'm going back to my country. If I started a physical business in this country, I know it would be a problem for me to move that business over to my country. So that was one of the considerations. I wanted a business that hasn't got a physical location, that I can run from anywhere. And so I chose this business model. For you, maybe that might not be an important consideration because you don't plan to go anywhere else and you are happy doing that business in that location. But for me, it was important for me that whatever business I started will be flexible to move around. And so I started this one. In terms of reach, you also need to know whether you want to serve your local community or you want to go global. Before I started this business, I have already tasted businesses on the online space. I have started an e-commerce business already, and so I knew the advantages of having a business with a global reach. So I wanted that. I wanted a business with no limitations. Even if at the beginning I'm not doing global, I want that to be a potential for me. Like eventually when I decide to expand, I should be able to expand. There shouldn't be any limitations. So I wanted a business with a global reach. Your situation might be different. Maybe you are a dentist, you want a dentist practice. You don't necessarily need a global reach. You only need to be able to offer better services than the dentist in your locality, so that your customers will be referring their friends and their families to you, and you build your customer base that way. So as you can see right there, our considerations in terms of reach will be different. Mine is a business that will reach everywhere because I didn't want to limit myself. But depending on what you want to do, you might not need that. So that is something you need to consider. Another thing you need to consider is the support system available to you. Where you are in life will determine how much risk you are willing to take. If you are in your teens or your early 20s or maybe early 30s, you may be able to take certain risks, and if they don't work out, you still have time to make corrective actions, and then move on from there. But for me, it was important for me to not make any costly mistakes at this point. Like, I'm in my mid ages, I don't have all the time in the world to make mistakes and learn from them. It's okay to make some mistake, but I wanted a system that is proven, something that is solid. And so it was important for me that whatever I was going to get into has a track record. Whatever I was going to get into is proven, and it is profitable, it is stable. It is not something that is here today and gone tomorrow. So personally, I wouldn't want to get into all these new shiny things going on there, especially since I do not understand them. Like, I wouldn't go into Bitcoins at this point because I don't even understand how it works. I wouldn't trade into certain things because I do not understand it well. If I'm going into something, it should be something that I either know so much about, I understand, or the thing has been proven over and over and over, and it works for everyone. That was one of my considerations. When I joined this company, I knew they had global reach. I knew that the system had been proven. First of all, the company has been in operation for 50 years. That alone is solid proof for me that this is a solid business. And then I looked at the profile of people doing this business. They cut across every race, every continent, it is global, it is everywhere. And the people doing it, they have different backgrounds. Some are educated, some are not educated. They are all doing it and making it. That tells me that it is not a person doing it, but it is a system that is supporting the person doing it that works. So that gave me that assurance, that gave me that confidence. So if you are getting into something, consider how much risk you are willing to take, and then consider the business model and what you need to give. If you have it or if you don't have it, you have to be honest with yourself. This is a true self-evaluation of what risk you are willing to take and what risk you are not willing to take. You need to really consider that. And in terms of support, what is there for you? I mean, before I started this business, I had started something, Amazon FBA. If you have done a bit of Amazon trading on Amazon, there is this specific model that is FBA. So you buy your product, you leave it with Amazon to do the fulfillment and the other things for you. I started that. That business never took off because in the end, I was not able to find a winning product. I spent a lot of money researching products, developing products, modifying products. I actually brought products into the Amazon warehouse. I was paying monthly storage fees for the products, and the products were just not selling. So in the end, I had to recall these products and then try to get rid of them through boot sales and other means. Those are things to consider. Whatever you want to start doing, is there any support? How are you going to be able to find success in that system? In this new business, and this business is not really new because I've been doing this for 3 years now. In this business that I am in, there is support. You come in, first of all, I said a lot about the system. It is a proven system that thousands of people around the world, around the globe, are using it, and they are all finding amazing results. So that is proof for me that the system works. Apart from that, there is training. I know what to do right from the beginning. I know the next step. I know the next step after that. There is training. And apart from the training, I have a mentor. I have a coach. I have somebody who is already been in the business. They have success in the business and they are guiding me. In the previous business I talked about, the FBA, I had a bit of support, but that support came at a cost. So you buy the training. Even the training is sold. So you buy the training, and if you are not able to follow the training, you have to pay for someone to guide you, a coach. And it was expensive. Like one coaching session can cost anything between 250 and 500 pounds, one coaching session. And how many of these can you do before your business takes off and then starts making profit? It wasn't the best approach for me. It wasn't the best fit for me because it felt like I was just pouring money into something and nothing coming out of it. So that didn't work for me. But so yeah, that is something you need to consider. What kind of support do you have, or how are you going to be supported in this online space? It's like a maze. You get here, you can easily get lost if you don't have the right support, if you don't have people who are going to help you. So before you invest into anything, just make sure that support is there. Another thing to consider. Let me just share this experience with you because I think I should have shared it when I was talking about investment. to, I had a chat with a business owner, a physical business owner, and it just dawned on me that these are some of the things people really don't think about when they are starting a business. So this person has rented a space. It's not a shop. It is just a space in a shopping mall. When you go in these shopping malls, you see these open spaces where people just pitch their stores. Maybe they put a table there and they put things on them and they start selling. This person has one of those, and I had a conversation with him because when I got there, he was just scrolling through the phone. He wasn't busy, and I was wondering, how is this person making money? Like, if you are, this is a very busy season, and if you are scrolling through your phone in this busy season and you are not busy, how do you even make money? So I just approached her and I started engaging him. And it just turned out that small space he was sitting in, he pays between 700 and 800 pounds every week. Every week. So when I spoke of the investment, those are some of the things you need to consider. If you are going into starting a physical shop, a physical business, it comes with those kind of unexpected costs. Maybe when you thought of the business, you only thought of the money to invest in the product. You didn't think of how you were going to move the product. And then you realize you need a space or somewhere. And then this unexpected cost comes out. And it's not even guaranteed that paying this huge amount of money and being in this space is going to make your business work. I mean, there are no guarantees. You can sit there the whole day and nobody can buy anything from you, but you still have to pay the cost of renting the place. And having a physical business, another thing to consider is labor. How are you going to manage that business? Are you going to leave whatever else you are doing? Because if you have a shop, you need to be there physically to serve your customers. Are you going to be able to do that? If not, what are your plans? Are you going to employ someone to do that? If you live in this UK, there are employment laws that you need to follow if you want to employ somebody to work for you. I mean, there is a minimum wage you need to pay, and there are so many different things. There are different supports you need to give to that employee. Like, we have paid holidays in this country. For some companies, there are paid sick days and contribution to national insurance and all that. You need to have all these figured out before you even go into employing somebody. Otherwise, you will run into problems. So yes, these are some of the things you need to consider depending on the business model you choose. If you're choosing physical, these are some things you need to consider. If you're choosing online, the other things I have like pointed out are things you need to consider. Businesses comes with responsibility. So it is not just starting a business. You need to understand what you are doing, and you need to know you have what it takes to do what you are doing. And there are other things to consider based on your personal circumstance. So these are some of the broad things everyone wanting to go into business will have to consider. But for your own personal circumstance, there might be things that will be important to you. Maybe you have small children. You need a business or you need a way of making money that will not interfere with you raising your children. Maybe you don't want to leave your children with a childminder or take them anywhere. So make sure you are choosing something that can work around you being a mom and still raising that money. So as you can see, there'll be things to consider which will be peculiar to your own circumstance, to your own situation. So make sure you are doing your homework well. And after you figured all this out, you might also want to consider your exit plan. That is not essential when you are starting. I mean, it's not essential to your success or anything, but it will be a good idea to understand where you want that journey to take you. Like, is it a business forever? Is it something you are doing to raise capital to start something else? What is the end goal? What is the game plan? You need to have that at the back of your mind. And I mean, in my personal like decision to start this thing, to start this particular business. I wanted something that eventually will give me a passive income, because I know at a certain point in my life, actively working for money will not be the thing I want to do. I wouldn't want to be exchanging my time for money directly. I would want to have a situation where I'm able to do other things and still make a decent living. So if that is your plan, you have to make sure you are investing into something that has the prospect of giving you passive income, or at least you will make enough so you can invest into something else. These are some of the things you need to consider. Personally, at a point in my life, I want to do voluntary work. I want to travel around the world and help people in disadvantaged situations. When I'm doing that work, I know that work would not pay me, but I would have something set aside to take care of my cost of living and, running my life, so that I would not be worried. I will still be able to do what I want to do without exchanging my time for money directly. So yeah, these are some of the things to consider as you decide on what you want to do. If it's starting a business, these are some of the things I want you to have at the back of your mind. Businesses come with responsibilities. It's not always fun. It can be fun sometimes, but it's a lot of work. So just make sure you have what it takes. And if you just don't know where to start from, or you need some more advice, I'm always here on this page. You know how to reach me. Get into my DM, ask your questions, or just ask the question under the video. I will answer your questions. I mean, we are here together to help each other out, to build each other up. It's not a race, it's a journey we are all making, and we are here to support each other. So if you need my help, just ask for that help, and I will come to your aid. I will answer whichever question you have. And if you want me to guide you into starting a profitable business online, let me know. I mean, we have a taster. Once you get in touch with me, I'll give you our introductory video. Watch it and make up your mind based on what you find. If you think it's going to be a good fit for you, let me know. Let me show you how you can start your business and how you can scale it and be profitable, be successful. Because at the end of the day, that's the goal, isn't it? You start a business so you'll be profitable. So connect with me. My name is Elfrida. I'm a business mentor. My Facebook business page is Mel Money Digital Consulting. If you go there, I put a lot of business communication there. I mean, testimonials of people who are using our system and are making it big. Reach out to me. And if you just want to get on my website and find out what is there, my website is melbani.com. Go on Google, type melbani.com, and my website will come up. Put in your name and your email address, and I would send you all the information you need to make up your mind about our business. If you want to connect with me on WhatsApp, my WhatsApp number is 079 167 46485. I live in the UK, so if you are outside of the UK, make sure you are adding the country code to it. That is +44 before you start the number. So this is the little bit I have for you today. I hope this has been insightful and this has helped you in a way. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below and I'll come back and answer them. Thank you so much. And take care of yourself. It's love from me and my team. And we'll come your way again soon, I hope. All right, take care. Bye-bye.